Hi, it's Tara, and as we embark on noticing the 1 year experience of the pandemic, the lockdown, this global crisis, I thought it would be really great to kick off a series with our clinicians and some of our friends from the community on how we've experienced our paradigm shifts during this time. So there's a risk when we're going through difficulty that we just really bunker down in the negative and our mindset can get very damaged. We can live so much in fear. And although there's a great awareness of fear, and that's important too, I want to focus in on some of the differences I've noticed with maybe positive paradigm shifts. There's some scattering of self-accountability that maybe doesn't feel like necessarily a positive, but a noticing as well. So one of the first things is, I think back to last spring. I don't know which month it was, but when the snow started to really thaw and we were still in lockdown here, and I came home from work early one day and my husband and I took our kids out for a walk, and I just have this snapshot in my mind of this memory. So that's one of the things that has been really important for me, is reestablishing just how important those mental snapshots in my mind are. I can visualize that walk, and I can see us walking, and the temperature was warmer, and just noticing how special it was to be walking with my family when there was so much uncertainty. I think that I've really honed in on having this special experience with these three lives that I get to cocoon with in this experience. Being a mom is really important to me, and a passion of mine is attachment, obviously. So I try really hard. I'm not a perfect parent, just like everybody else. I live with the parental guilt, okay? We all do. But I think that as much as I thought I was trying hard before, I've had a real shift in my perspective of what being with is, and how to slow down in the moments that are important to my kids, like how important bedtime is to them, and how me as a mom, I've been so challenged in just slow it down and having an increased shift of focus. And I'm so thankful for that, because I really do care deeply about being a mom and a wife. I think that just honing in on the struggle of communication and having to have repair with my husband and things like this has been more alive. And I think that the shift I've noticed there is, it's a work in progress. I just have more peace of, okay, my marriage is a continual work in progress. You see those memes of the old couple that says, we didn't throw things away, we fixed them. And if you're in it for the long haul, if I'm in it for the long haul, that is a commitment to just a lot of fixing and a lot of continuing to struggle when we get it wrong. I'm always of this mindset about wellness and balance, and continuing to just be like, okay, what is it that I'm neglecting, and what is it that I'm doing too much of? I do a lot of too much personally. I struggle with workaholism. There, I've said it. I'm an overdoer, and there's a perfectionism there. Even though I really don't believe I'm perfect, I aim very, very high. And initially in the pandemic, I made myself so busy, and I'm still struggling to manage that busyness. There's an alertness in my brain of how much I don't want to fall into my old trap of overdoing, because my perfectionism, I don't even like saying that word because I don't believe I'm perfect, but my workaholism, which I don't like saying either, pulls me away from my relationships and the things that are really important to me. Years ago, when I started my career as an addictions counselor, I had just come out of Trinity Western University. I was very aware that I had a degree in theology, and I was supposed to, manage my voice as a psychologist and be mindful to not overexpose my spiritual beliefs to people, even though I think spirituality is necessary to our wellness and our balance. I worked as an addictions therapist and clinical addictions counselor was the title. I had a friend who was Buddhist there. He's a counselor, as was I. I remember feeling, I guess, jealous that he so freely integrated his Buddhist faith into his work with people. And it's been a real challenge of mine over my career, so that's like 17 years ago now. And I really feel like this year I started to take some risks and challenge myself on my fear of just noticing the importance of faith, acknowledging I'm a student of theology, acknowledging that my passion is for Christian faith, and that's important to me. I'm not a pushy person with my faith. I'm just not going to be that person. But there's space I'm finding for someone like me who's just, I am who I am, and I happen to also be a Christian. I've found some shift in how I notice. I thought that when I would put myself out there about who I am as a Christian psychologist, I would get pushback, people would be offended, people would say, oh no, you've pigeonholed yourself and now this is the niche that you're in. It just hasn't been the case. It's amazing, I guess that my shift has been, I've been really challenged on trusting that other people will accept me as the professional that I am. And a part of that is I have a deep faith in Jesus. And I'm okay with that. So it's amazing as we go on in life. Here I am 40 years old and I'm like, wow, that's a huge shift of perspective that I thought I made years ago when I spent 4 years in Bible school. But hey, here I am, not 20, I'm 40, and it's like, wow, I just really rediscovered or discovered something new about myself. I think the final piece, it goes back to this ugly thing that I don't like noticing about myself, about my overdoing and my need to work extremely, extremely hard. That's my strategy. That's my attachment strategy. I'm going to struggle with that for the rest of my life. I'm an overworker, and it pulls me away from my relationships, and I need to be accountable to that, and I need to consistently work on it, because that is my fatal flaw. It's a thorn in my side. That's one of the number one things that I fall prey to, and it pulls me away from my ability to be with my people, and my people are my number one priority here. So I believe these three things have become very clear for me during the pandemic. My shift is really to be mindful of how I am reaching over to others, how I'm reaching inward with myself, and how I'm reaching up. That I truly believe in meaning, and my faith as a Christian is really important to me. And I'm having some self-acceptance of those things. So, crisis, thank you for what you've taught me. It's been really hard. I didn't want to learn it this way. Thank you. All right, you guys, I hope you're mindful of your paradigm shifts. There's some fruit here, even though it's hard to find it amongst the thorns.